the engineer.
Right.
If the survey matches the property and the building hasn't been changed, and usually the state has got everything up till the last transaction. So, and usually they have surveys that are pretty current. It's just maybe the years, in a few years, property just doesn't change.
Yeah, Thomas. So here's the issues with the survey. Number one, if you need the surveyors make the flood elevation certificates. So that's generally where the insurance issue is coming in, and they're not. And an old flood elevation certificate doesn't usually suffice. Two, a lender might want to verify. I mean, how often do you need to verify a survey?
Very rarely.
Yeah. So I agree. I always ask my favorite title company, "Hey, can you find a survey?" And they'll do it for free. You don't have to look and pay $1 or go anywhere. A lot of times that suffices, especially if it looks like the building. But I don't want to be the person that does the interpreting. I want to just forward that straight to the client, because am not a professional survey reader or engineer, and I'm just a realtor. And what do we need to be a realtor? A GED.
Yeah, it's out of our normal scope, and that you're when you start doing stuff like that, you're putting so much liability on yourself and the brokerage, and that's not something that a typical real estate transaction involves with. And if you're getting into that, I would put that in writing and say, hey, this isn't typical for us to do. We're going to loop in a title attorney. We're going to loop in the lender, the people that are actually requiring it. Let them have these conversations and go forth. That would be my suggestion.
With respect to surveys, just reminding everyone that that's not necessarily the building, it's the property line. It's the boundaries of the property. And so if someone has a fence line that's encroaching on another property and so forth, and that becomes a headache later on. And then the other thing is that I've decided to live by the line, I'm not the buyer or the seller. And I remind everyone of that's not the buyer or the seller.
Yeah.
I love that. You can actually, and so this fence issue is a tremendous one. I wish Todd Tedesco was here. Todd can go, okay, so if you go back to like the companies that are surveyors, who are the three in our area? Gilbert Kelly Couturier, Dating Marquez, and R.W. Krebs, right? Yeah. Okay. Why are there only three? Well, these people have acquired companies or acquired the maps from back when, like, Jesus was a boy, basically.
Yeah.
And America was, like, laid out. And it literally has the starting points and then measures off those starting points to other agreed-upon points that then get to this property line. How easy would it be to be off 1/4 of an inch?
Yeah.
Very. Okay. Or a foot. So my in-laws' property, a Dating Marquez survey shows that the neighbor's fence encroaches. A survey from Gilbert Kelly shows that their fence encroaches. So, getting up on your high horse and saying, this survey says this, when it's like this far off, I would just be careful. And I think that's where it's very wise, Patrick, to be like, I'm not the buyer or the seller. I just want to show you this. Okay, and then we're going to move on. Oh, we got to go to Bennett. Hang on, Bennett first. Bennett's been waiting.
So I was just wondering what could happen if you misinterpret it, and like what kind of liability.
Yeah, you got a lot.
It's really confusing. Like
Yeah, no, you're right. Stop interpreting stuff.
Yeah.
Just start being curious.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think it's great when we go to One Stop NOLA for people and we start telling them, hey, there's a bunch of things out there. But at the same time, like, maybe we should just write a letter that we send to every single person we put under contract and say, here are some good ideas of things you might want to inspect. Because what happens if I do that for you, and you? But when I go to Kim and sell her house, that was just a busy week and I had a lot going on and I didn't do it. And that house had things that weren't, permits that weren't pulled or open permits. Then the liability is on you.
Yeah.
So being really careful on that is a thing. Okay.
Cool. I know.
Sure, Adam, you can finally go.
Okay, so if we're in the due diligence period and they say, hey, it looks like there was some termite damage around this window, and the buyer says, well, we want you to rip out that entire wall so we can inspect it, and they do that and say, no, there's no live termite damage, but there was some, and by the time that they figure that out, it's already past the due diligence period, and then they say, well, we just want out. Is the buyer required to, one, have them put the drywall back up and fix that because that was part of their inspection, and since it's after the inspection period, even though we did move forward, do they still get their deposit back?
Can we chunk that question up a little bit and then we'll get to it maybe?
Yeah.
Let's talk about inspections and destructive versus non-destructive. Here's one of my favorite things when you're with a buyer that thinks they know something about like contracting or they've watched too much HGTV. They go over to the corner of the carpet and they pull it up, or they take a knife out and they start pulling it up, and they're like, there's going to be hardwood floors under here. I know it, that are perfect, that are original. And like, we're going to, is that allowed?
No, that's considered destructive.
Right. You're going to be like, whoa, even if they're like, oh, we'll just like stomp it back down and this is a tear down house or reno, whatever.
Yeah. Let the home inspectors do that. If they've got questions about that, ask for permission. Like, hey, I think there's hardwood floors. Can I do this? Ask for permission. Don't just do stuff to someone's house.
So send a request through. Say, we're trying to figure out what's underneath this carpet. Are you good with us pulling up a carpet?
Absolutely. And
Writing.
yes.
Right, in writing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that this is a great question because non-destructive versus destructive, we get into it sometimes with these pipe inspections, people running cameras down. Then the seller says, oh, well, you just destroyed my Orangeburg plumbing that's 110 years old. But the biggest issue...
That's quite possible if it's garbage plumbing. Yeah.
You know, the biggest issue that I've come across with the destructive side of things is the testing for asbestos. We've all seen those nice asbestos 1950s little white tiles up there, and they go up there. But how do you test for asbestos?
You got to break it.
You got to break it. And then if you break it, you did what? You disturbed it, and now it's in the air. There are asbestos kits that you could buy at Lowe's for $20 and $30, and then the client's going there, I want to make sure it's not asbestos. This is my time frame, and then they do it, and they take that little quarter-size piece out, and then here we are in a nice issue because they didn't hire a company. It wasn't them. It was just them going in the closet and disturbing the asbestos.
I think another underground plumbing thing that drives me nuts, and I can't stand these companies. The underground pipe inspectors are so lazy in general, and they want to find that perfect cutoff or clean out valve and shove a camera straight down. Well, what happens in uptown New Orleans? They're cast iron, right? And they're frozen on. They can never get them off. And then they want you to pay to cut them off. And I say, no. Get your lazy ass up and go pop a toilet off and run a camera down a toilet. And they act like you just asked them to do the biggest thing in the world. And first of all, anyone know how to change a toilet? It's really simple. All you need is what?
A wax ring.
A wax ring. So you pull out of your pocket $10 and you're like, here's for the wax ring. Oh, I don't care whether it's on my truck. Well, let me go get it for you from office. From whatever. I don't believe that is a permission thing at all because that is a non-destructive, in my view, with a person who's a tradesperson, that is not a licensed activity. And if you really feel that way, you should just send them ahead of time like, hey, we are going to do this.
I'm not the buyer or the seller. I'm going to ask their permission.
I understand. That's fine that you do that. I'm just saying, in my opinion, taking two bolts, unscrewing two bolts, and shoving a camera down, replacing a wax ring is not destructive.
Don't they take...
If they don't let you, then you're like, well, I can't buy the house because now I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
But we tried every other way. We're going that way.
Two things about video plumbing. First of all, if you can't find the clean out or if they can't find the clean out, please call the Sewage and Water Board. They will tell you exactly where the clean out is located.
No, I'm talking about the clean out that's on the house so that you get to the
No. I'm telling you that, though. I understand that. But sometimes it's hard to find. So you can call the day before your closing, before your inspection, and just have that information ready. Secondly, there's one company called, that runs with Funnel Fission.
Funnel Fission?
That loves to say, oh, hey, we can't do this. We have to come back tomorrow for $400. We'll clean out your pipes. Call somebody else. Just thought I'd share that with y'all.
I agree. They bother me. So to answer Adam's question, I feel like every house, especially uptown, has evidence of termites at one time or another.
Yeah.
The question is, are they active?
Yeah, and then the way that Adam's question was, too, it's also really going to depend on how everything's worded. If I request that you open a wall, did I say, hey, contingent upon you opening the wall, I want to see if there's termite damage, and if there is, we have the ability to cancel, or do we not have the ability? It's all about how you word things. And I think the more specific you are with stuff like that, the better off you're going to be. And on the same side, if you're representing a seller and you get something that says, remove the wall, we want to see if it has termites, that's not really telling you what's going on. I mean, you can do it and then they're forced to buy it. I mean, I think at that point, whether there are or not termites. But I think the more specific you get with items like that, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, and you should have language that's extending your due diligence while all this is done.
Yeah.
Patrick, can we get him a microphone?
Years ago, I had someone, the inspector says that it appears that this may be Chinese drywall. And so then the buyers were trying to onus on the seller to prove that it isn't. I just flipped it back and said, prove that it is.
Yeah.
I was like, we can't go off of that basis. You're free to walk away if you like, but I don't have a way to prove it. If you want to look into it and prove it,
Right.
go right ahead.
That was like ChatGPT saying this week, oh, if you want to opt out of us stealing your intellectual property to make videos, just tell us. Yeah. All right, Bennett?
I was gonna say, if you see like rotten wood or termite damage, don't walk up and like push it or touch it, because it'll crumble and then you like damage their house.
You say that, we just got an inspection response back, and the inspectors were literally sticking like the biggest Phillips and flathead screwdrivers like right through it. Like, geez, people.
One other thing, I'm sorry, about Chinese drywall.
That's not you, though.
No.
You didn't do it.
No.
We don't do that. If they do it, they have insurance. Sue them.
I put my foot on the wall one time and the agent was like, dude, what the, the whole wall shook because it had termite damage, but, it almost fell down.
What I just learned too is because I had a house recently that just sold that has Chinese drywall in it. If it still has Chinese drywall in it, it's off-gassed, so it's no longer a problem.
Yeah. It just destroyed all the copper in the walls. Okay, cool.
Seek a professional, though, please.
Let's move on. Can we move on from due diligence responses?
Yes.
Because you have a whole page, and I don't think we started anything. That was just my intro to warm us up.
So while we were on the phone this morning, we started talking about, to give us some positive light, I know we've been kind of discussing some grimmer things, but to give us some positive light, we reached out to our insurance commissioner's office and had some questions about what's going on in the insurance world.
He takes your call?
Yeah. All right, so, knock on wood, it looks like we're going to get out of this hurricane season pretty well, as long as things keep...
Oh, my God, why would you even say that to us?
I know, but everything's looking better. And with that being said, there's been a lot of talk about insurance reform and what's been going on, and we're finally now seeing some good positive light come from that.
I agree. Holly's saving like $3,000 a year on her insurance.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Is that just homeowners insurance, or is that
Homeowners.
fortified roof stuff, or is that...
No, that's just
Same
not
house, no
homeowners.
changes,
A new
homeowners.
new company writing in, more companies writing in St. Bernard Parish.
Beautiful.
And I was able to get off the citizens.
Beautiful. Which, well, look, the more competition we have, the better off that this is going to be. If we're only stuck with one company, then we're not going to be in a good spot. I want to hang on one second. I was actually a part of these conversations at the state capitol revolving this.
You testified.
I
didn't
did.
you?
That was I learned a lot that day, and then sitting with the president of Citizens Insurance Company, he gave me some terrifying information, such as, "Hey, we want more people in here. We can't have this much." I think at one point they had roughly 75 or 80% of Orleans Parish, and they said in front of all of our legislators, if a major event happens, we will not be able to cover all of this.
We're being solid.
Yeah. So for every, I think it was for every dollar they take in, they're spending $4. So they were absolutely going backwards. They were begging for people to come in and actually come in and give us more competition. So
Okay. So, take us to another route.
sure.
Take
So
us to something.
with all of this, with that 3-year rule modification, more insurance companies are becoming more confident to write policies in here, which is bringing in more actual competition for these companies to come in. I want to say Farm Bureau just announced around a 20% reduction in most of their policies, and then 20 companies last month announced reductions in their policies that were going to be for auto, for flood insurance, and for homeowners insurance. Another great thing that we're looking at is unincorporated Jefferson Parish is going to see an 11% drop.
Which is Metairie.
Yeah. Is going to see an 11% drop in their flood insurance. Flood.
Okay.
Ma'am? I don't. So they said it's all on their website. So if you go to the insurance commissioner's website, they put out some recent press releases, and all of that information should be on there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah.
All right. What can we do? So I also see a big problem is that the questions. Remember, we used to just be able to call our favorite insurance person for a listing, and they would be able to give us a quote on that house.
Miss those days. That was so nice.
Boy, that was sweet. Now they're like running your firstborn's blood sample and stuff. So I think a lot more is on us to collect information from our clients on the front end.
Yeah, absolutely. If we want to be great at our jobs, that's what we need to focus on, is collecting that information up front, especially if you're on the listing side.
So the disclosure document has the roof age, but really now we need the electric. Last time electrical was updated, last time plumbing was updated, the air conditioner's age.
Yep, the mechanical functions, even your water heater, the age of that all helps with them getting that quote over to you.
So you want to help as the buyer. What we want to do is make this a little more efficient.
Yeah.
So we're making a survey, just a questionnaire for you to be able to take with you on a listing presentation or meeting. It's going to be 2 parts. Part 1 is the things we think you need ahead of time. Part 2 is once it's sold. So wouldn't it be good service if you told them when the garbage gets picked up?
Yeah.
Recycling.
Yep.
How many cans they have, or alarm code, if the alarm's owned or leased.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
All that information is so awesome. And then what that does is it makes the whole process, this transaction, go smoother. But also
proactive, not reactive.
Yeah. And what we found too is the buyers really appreciate it too, because they're finding out all of this information and they're saying, well, the seller put all of this together for us. They really care about this house. They're very detailed oriented. I feel more comfortable buying this property than I would with some random person. Show up, yep, here's your house, there you go, and then they don't know anything about
It's
it.
a lot better to give them that and a few keys at closing than like one key that they have to like ask for from you, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes the whole process so much easier. It really does.
All right, what else you got?
That's really it.
All right, questions for Clayton, or did we exhaust you all? Go ahead, Thomas.
If you're with USAA and you have your house inspected, I'm referring to a house that was, the roof and everything was redone right after Katrina in 2006. The inspector came in last year in December, checked it out. USAA 2 weeks later cut his insurance by 50%. That's his homeowner.
Wow.
So I just want to pass that on. Anybody that's got homeowners insurance with USAA, they're the only one that really, they follow the standards of Alabama for discounts.
Yeah, which Alabama led the country with fortified and building code. Yeah. Bill, thank you for that.
Clayton, how long have you been with Federal Williams?
As of yesterday.
12 years total, and then 10 years as a broker.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. That was very kind of you. Yeah. Good time. Thank you.
Adam, you have a question?
Oh, I was going to talk about like what you're talking about with the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So on listings, I always like to do CTO, it's a cost to own, where I'll actually talk with the owner and say, okay, well, how much is the HOA? How much is your power? And we look at it, what's the high, low, average, and then also like what's the cost of your Wi-Fi, energy, and then look at the high, low, average. So you can kind of see what it looks like. So when buyers are, typically I would do that for properties that I was selling at the beach, so we could do an analysis for
So
income.
what? Yeah, it's
But
different.
for homeowners, it's great because if they're looking at it, they see that this is what my mortgage and taxes and insurance will be, but here's all the extra costs that most people don't look at.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's important.
It's a good differentiator. No, go. You got the mic. So
I came late. I don't know if you talked about it, but did you happen to hear about anything about doubling the homestead exemption?
No, I don't know anything about it.
I know there were talks of that at the state.
Boy, we'll never have good schools if we do that.
I heard a little bit something about with people who are leasing and stuff.
I think
catch
we'll
it
get-
this morning, but I did hear a little bit about the homestead exemption.
I just want to ask, when are you going to give us another contract class?
We'll get that on for this month then.
Okay,
Cool.
Great.
I just
Yeah.
sent
Thank
in
you.
that CD one to
Beautiful. Tina?
So I just finished a very tedious inspection process.
And I kind of think that the agent was a problem, not the sellers. To the point where, like, I almost in that situation, like, what what do I do? I literally think that, again, the seller's agent was the problem, not the sellers, and that he wasn't communicating effectively with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to somebody's broker and say, this guy's being an asshole. I did want to say that, but what do you do?
You focus on your job, and you don't share that with your clients. Just because you're having, and I think that that's kind of the go-to is we vent to our clients sometime about this person isn't doing their job or this isn't happening. And then like we sometimes turn to our clients and give them way more information. So I would say in that standpoint, you just remember your job is to communicate a message. People that are like that, I have found thrive on problems and drama and issues. The best thing to do is to not take their phone calls, keep it to a writing conversation only, and stay professional.
What I'm saying specifically is he was not communicating. I really thought that, like, I didn't know if I should go to the broker or
no, not typically.
Give us an example of what you needed him to communicate back to you.
We'd like to have a conversation with you about this, and then 3 days later, I don't want to do that.
But where is that contractually in the?
It will.
See, here's, and I'm not trying to turn this back around on you to make it your fault, but I think I think sometimes we're saying too much.
Correct.
And we could say a lot less, and especially to the other side. And as you know, and the whole story that we wind people up with, and we're about to, that we think we're softening the blow for the big price reduction we're asking for, whatever. That, do a deal with someone that's been in a decade plus, and please confirm you received the document. If you have any questions, give me a call.
Yeah.
There's no emotion around it. Like, if you want to have an emotional conversation, I'm happy to have it with you, but you call me. I don't want to say hey, I'm sending you a really shitty PIR. Sorry, it's not me, it's my client. Like, I know you've got I don't mean to give you a load of turd here, but nobody, we're all professionals. I think you just send it and say, please confirm receipt, and let's talk if you need to talk. And I'm happy to walk you through it. And by the way, if they're really jerks, just attach all the reports.
Also, I feel like you're going to get more difficult listing agents now because of the new commission rules. They're just not going to be cooperative because they don't want to pay you. If that makes sense.
They aren't.
You know what? I don't think, my thinking has evolved so much since October 7th or August 17th, 2024. I see, remember we were making ways to get all the cooperative commissions collected and hold all that data? Who gives a damn? Put what you want to make from these people on the purchase agreement and don't apologize.
Yeah.
We ran the numbers. Most of you, our brokerage average is higher.
Correct.
For buyer commissions than it's ever been.
We're seeing that nationally as well.
Yeah. It was the same way in Boston.
And what? We're more transparent. We're not just taking it, whatever they offer. So I think that is if they're like that to you, Bennett, that is a super short-sighted way. And everyone that's not sending buyer broker agreements, which, holy smokes, were y'all in our Super CE Day, listening to all the guests that were in here, acting like they had no idea what we're talking about?
They did.
I mean, we still get calls from brokers saying, your agent put the commission on the purchase agreement. We're like, yeah. Welcome to 2025.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Morons.
Can we get that automatically put into additional comments?
That's a Jean question. But I love that idea.
What, to put the commissions automatically in the
No, I think there's a really nice sentence. Yes. I think there's a really nice sentence we could preload in the additional terms of the DocuSign. And we're not going to put the number, but you can put the number.
Okay. Because some people are forgetting.
We can put the language.
They do it all together, and they're like, oh my God, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that's got to become a habit because.
It should actually just be in the purchase agreement.
As is, you got to do this. You gotta do that, it's gotta-
And look, I think with that being said too, mistakes happen. Pick up the phone if you see something like that and have a conversation with the agent as well. hey, did you mean to do that? I think that goes a lot further than, oh, you're screwed, guess what, you're not getting paid.
Philip and I had this conversation 6 months ago when it happened to him the first time.
Yeah.
And when you literally play this out, you get to either decide, do we cost our client money now or later?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if it goes too far down the tracks and it was a mistake and you're going to blow up the deal, blow it up early.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather blow it up early than all the way at the closing table after everyone's got a lot.
You get goodwill in your stuff.
Yeah, and look.
And your client could have moved all their stuff out of their house because they thought a deal was going through, and it comes up at the close when the settlement statement comes out 3 days before.
Yeah, treat others as you wish to be treated too. What goes around comes around. The people that you're doing transactions with right now, more than likely, you're going to be doing transactions with them next year, 2 years down the road. Do the right thing, and then also you can build a reputation in 10 years and destroy it in one transaction.
Yep.
So
We see that a lot.
Yeah, be the right person.
Anyone else?
I had two things I wanted to hit on while we're just talking.
I want you to close it out.
Yeah, so we were talking about insurance and some of the things that are changing, and they did point out the reason why we're seeing such good results and we're seeing some insurance companies come back in is because of the strict building codes that we have, but also the enforcement of those codes. The insurance companies not only look at the codes that are being changed, but how are they being enforced? Because they can just say, hey, we changed this, but are they actually being enforced? And they've gone around and checked, and we're actually enforcing them at a high level, which makes those companies feel a lot more comfortable about coming back.
Okay, a quick survey for y'all. Who here thinks you need a permit to put a new roof on an existing home in New Orleans? Like just to replace a roof, like shovel it off, do the job in one day.
It depends.
Orleans,
You need a permit.
100% you need a permit now.
Yeah.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
Like a year ago.
Yes.
But yeah.
I thought.
I mean, but we haven't caught up to that. And everyone I talk to that's like, oh yeah, I'll just put a new roof on. It's like, yeah, let me tell you about that. There's a whole new process. The roofers at Jefferson as well. Jefferson was before. Jefferson's going on 3 years, maybe longer. Well, they're Jefferson, yeah. But
And that's also why you're seeing some of these parishes have more of a significant break in insurances rather than some of them aren't getting as much.
so when I call somebody like Ducksworth Roofing, who's the best roofing deal I typically out of Chalmette, those guys are like, no, we don't file permits. Are you nuts?
Yeah.
Maybe there's not the one you should be recommending anymore. Yeah, let me go to.
I think it's likely that after Ida, most of those roof replacements were not permits.
Oh,
Yeah.
shocked.
So, so
Go-
the thing
and
is,
after
so if you're claiming you have a
Katrina,
5-year-old roof, you better have the expense from the roofer.
yeah, and after Katrina, all those 3-plexes that became 4-plexes are really surprises. All right, go ahead.
What's the general time frame now to get a permit? I mean, is it just like any other permit where you're just
It's
like
a few days.
following it out? That's it? Just a few days?
I mean, yeah, I think
I mean, in general.
your roofer handles it.
Yeah, your tradesperson handles whatever permit
Yeah,
you're
it's
getting.
not like
can't- I don't think you can file a permit.
Right, you need the licensed roofer to go to.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
And
what
they
the
do it
general time
online.
frame is now, 'cause I haven't
They
had
do
to
it online.
Okay.
I'll tell you, New Orleans is either really fast or is my experience.
That's my question.
Cool. Ended with some positive news for veterans that we found. So I didn't know this, and I don't know if it's parish by parish, but I think it is a statewide thing. And some parishes may have more incentives for it. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is also a 100% disabled veteran, and about taxes and everything. And I can't remember what lender I was having the conversation with. They said, yeah, they can actually get an exemption on their property taxes regarding home, their taxes depending on their disability. And
you can freeze your minimum. You can freeze it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that it's not just 100% disabled veterans. It goes, they will actually reduce your property taxes by the percentages based off of your disability. And I would love for John to hit on this too. But that was an amazing thing. It wound up saving my friend first, client second. But it wound up saving him significant amount of money every year. His taxes went from thousands to, I think it went down to like $16 is all he's now paying.
That's pretty
Also, senior citizens on fixed incomes can also get their taxes frozen.
That's awesome.
If you know that one of your clients is turning 65, it's a great value to send them a message and say, go to the assessor and make sure you're freezing your...
There's one more. It's first responders, too, in Orleans Parish. They also have a reduction on property insurance. Check it out.
It's a great way to touch your clients real quick and just get into them like that and just send out a quick email.
Okay. Thanks, Clayton.
Yep, absolutely.